Hello, I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing the after incidents as to what was similar as for the abuse within my three assoholics, the bullying cult clan online, and now with the current situation based with the bullying cult clans in person and also the incident that happened and what happened after. So what is it that is the same? Now, people would think that the victim has supporters, and they would think that those supporters are the ones that victim has known and knows them and thought that they, cared about them, right? You would think. But actually, when I was trying to escape my three assoholics, the two people that supported me mainly weren't people that I even knew until that time I was trying to escape. That's right. And what, like I stated, is that the victim needs emotional support, just knowing somebody has their back and somebody there for them, even to talk to and whatnot. So, those two people were complete strangers, but they helped me the most. So now, how does that relate to the other ones? Now, another thing is that people during the time I was trying to escape, people that, knew my abusers or knew of them, believe it or not, they were afraid. They didn't want to get in the middle. They said because, they just would say that they don't want to get in the middle of it. They don't want the stress. You would think, hello, the victim is the one that's going through an enormous amount of stress, right? Well, that's how self-centered people actually are. They're very self-centered. Most people are, as I've stated. It's very rare to find a big heart. And those with big hearts don't understand this, such as myself. I mean, I've actually supported complete strangers during the process of dealing with domestic violence and abuse situations and help them through it all the way through. That's just how I am. So I myself don't understand how people could be so self-centered and so self-absorbed to just say, well, I can't be your friend anymore because it's too stressful on me. I'm afraid that it might backfire on me, that I might get attacked, blah, blah, blah. So that happened even with my three assoholics. Same with the bullying cult clan online. Such I had stated how Chameleon, during the time I was being bullied, would, sneakily be my friend, but she didn't let the others, really want to know. She didn't want them to know that she was talking to me and was that close, And actually, same with, snot oil, the same exact thing, the saying, well, I don't want to deal with bullies, Well, they're not even the victim at that time, and they don't even want the people who are doing the abuse to know that they're talking to the victim. And that happened in those two situations. Well, guess what? It happened even in the current situation I'm in. That's right. I lost like 4 different friends as to where they even told me that it was too stressful on them based on what I'm going through after that incident, and also admitted to me that they don't even want to be seen with me because of the bullying cult clans that are in this apartment complex. They even told me that they know how evil they can be and the things that they've done in the past. Yet I'm the one that they're attacking, not them. But, God forbid they get seen with me and they get attacked themselves. So me and my friend, we were talking based upon, boundaries and what to accept and not accept in relationships and how to handle it, as in having self-confidence and self-respect. So any type of situation, sometimes, they can relate to each other, to another type of situation. Like I had stated how Ken was actually a genius as for his words of wisdom, as to it can relate to many different types of situations. And being able to do that, that's very rare in someone. So I was speaking to my friend, and she was telling me, based upon a relationship that she had, this person had done basically what, things that have happened to me, which, like Ken ghosting me, they stopped talking to her, but then, a month later calls back, or contacts them back, and, says, well, acts like nothing happened, and wants to start where they were. Basically like Ken, ghosting me and not talking to me for weeks, and all of a sudden, hey, how's it going? I could talk for 5 minutes, blah, blah, blah. I was really busy, for, a month or whatever, but, let's just pretend like, I wasn't ignoring you, and, or I took off like nothing happened. That's exactly how even people in other situations act too. But I loved how she, put it is, she's not going to put up with it. She's not going to stoop to that person's level. She's going to let them know, without saying it, that, they're not going to start where they were, that things have to start from the beginning. And she's not going to tolerate, again, if they do the same thing. So what is it in this situation that can, my situation, current situation, that can relate to hers? Well, that would be based upon the people that I thought would have my back that ended the relationship because of the stress and also the fear that they would get attacked too. Actually, another friend did that today, that isn't really even connected to anybody else within this apartment complex, stating that, they don't even want to be seen with me because they're afraid that the same thing that's happening to me would happen to them. So instead of attacking the people that actually deserve to be attacked and taken down, basically they're turning it on the victim. So what does that do? That gives the abusers that are involved in that abuse the upper hand. Just like I stated that the people that unfriended me are giving those abusers the upper hand. They're seeing me as being weak and whatnot. But that's actually not the case, because the way I look at it is I didn't lose anything. Actually, the good positive thing is that I weeded out people that don't deserve to be in my life. Like I stated in the other video is, what if they went through the same thing as me? Say this was, happened to them afterwards, and they call me, yeah, I really need your support, and, this happened, I was, blah, 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 I mean, that's where I need to build my self-confidence and self-worth to say, well, you know what? You weren't there for me when I needed that type of support, because out of self-centered reasons of fear that is actually not even there, which was that they're afraid that they're going to get attacked, and also the stress of what I'm going through. Just, thinking of it, hello, I'm the one that's mainly going through the stress, and, you're going to drop me as a friend and cause even more stress, because, yeah, that's very hurtful. And it's basically blaming the victim for that happening to them, because they're saying that they don't want to be friends with you because of the stress that you're going through. That actually happened even when I was trying to escape my, 3 assoholics. Actually, a friend told me just that. They said that they, let me go and ignored me, for all that time because it was too stressful on them, because it brought back memories of, abuse that happened to them, and waited till I actually got out of that situation to start talking to me again. When actually I should have never, refriended that person, because they didn't even speak to me during the time that, you would think that person who was in your life and that you were there for would be there for you. Yet, of course, they're going to expect you to be there for them if something like that happened to them. So that's something that I need to work on personally. So, when people that did this to me, even now or even then, come to me and say, well, you know what, this really bad thing happened to me, and, I would appreciate your support, and talk to me about the problems. I really needed to do what I said in that video, which was if they're on fire and, I look over and see them on fire, what I need to do is keep on a walking. Like, you weren't there for me, so with my self-worth is that why should I be there for somebody that wouldn't be there for me? I have to keep reminding myself that. And actually, that's one of my biggest flaws when it comes to personal boundaries and having self-respect, is that it is so hard for me to just walk away from somebody when they have, problems like that, even if they're, especially if they're huge, like what I'm going through and something very traumatic. It's very hard for me to walk away, even if they've done really bad things to me. And that's something I need to work on. I had let this friend who told me what she was doing as for, putting her, stating her grounds, standing her grounds as to her self-worth and her self-confidence, saying, you know what, we could start over from the beginning, and basically letting that person know that, you know what, you ignored me and just abandoned me just like that, for no reason at all. And now you want to start where we were? No. You're going to have to start from scratch, all the way from the beginning. I'm going to give you another chance, but this is the last chance you're getting. After this, adios. And for someone who has a big heart, that's hard to do, but I actually told her, I said, that is really great of you to do that. That shows that person that you're not going to be treated like you're not worthy of the respect and being treated properly. And that takes a lot of guts, especially for someone who has a big heart. And I really still, commend them for, standing their grounds as to being treated in ways that they deserve to be treated. Not just always giving it out, but expecting it in return. I think that's extremely important. So I find it very interesting how even different types of abuse situations, such as the bullying cult clan, there was, friends that didn't want to be known to be associated with me, didn't want to defend me, and just sat there and watched me get abused. And knowing it. Then again, with my 3 assoholics, there was people that said they didn't want to get in the middle or be known that they're even speaking to me. And again, there was people, all of them, saying that they couldn't be friends with me because, they didn't want to get it in the middle of it, right? Yeah, because, it's going to stress them out. Even though the trauma happened to me and I'm the one that really should be stressed out, they want to get out because, again, those people are not worth my time. And looking back at the 3 incidents as to the similarities and how self-centered many or most people were in those situations is something I personally need to work on. And when those people, come back to me, I'm going to have to do exactly what I said. I need to do that. I know it's going to be hard, but it's something I need to do for myself based on my own self-worth, because I shouldn't be giving out what I don't get back in return, which is being there for someone and having their back and not doing it out of selfish reasons as to, worrying about popularity, reputation, backlash, when that backlash is nothing compared to what the victim is going through and the pain of emotions that they are suffering or have suffered. That, somebody just losing their reputation. Just like I explained with, Ken, he didn't want to have that bad reputation of taking my side, even when the truth was right in front of them. That's the same thing with my 3 assoholics, and even now the current situation. Even the friends that know I'm being honest as to what happened and all that, they still would say that, but said that they don't want to get involved because of the stress and the backlash that could happen to them. So my point is not only that, abuse and how what happens to the victim afterwards as to how it makes it worse for them is similar within any type of abuse, is also based upon what I've learned as to what I need to work on as for having self-worth and self-respect as to who I give my heart out to and who I will be there for. And that means that even if I see somebody on fire, this is going to be me. And keep on walking. And I think that's a big step that is going to be very hard for me to do, but that's something that I need to do for myself. Because, like everybody tells me, the ones that are, for good intentions for me, is that I'm important too. I deserve that too. And I shouldn't be giving out what I don't get back in return. And that's the way I see it. So I just wanted to point out that similarity as to how the abuse situations, even though they're what people see as very different, can actually affect the victim in the same ways, and depending on the victim as to how badly it traumatizes them and how badly it affects them. No matter what type of abuse it is, it all depends on the victim as to how it affects them. So that's it for right now as for this pause, but I'm Shelley Rothus, and I'm a different kind of victim. See you next time.